Well, we mentioned architecture there a few moments ago. With me in the studio is Mel Fairbourn-Varley, who's Director of DWA Architects in York, and his practice is bucking the trend for York and North Yorkshire businesses because it's just secured a major contract to design homes for sheltered living in China. Mel, thanks for coming in this morning.
Thank you.
First of all, congratulations, because that's obviously good news for you and your business.
Indeed.
How difficult or otherwise was it then to win this contract? I'm assuming against competition globally.
Well, indeed, it's been a fairly long journey. I mean, we started looking at China roughly about 18 months ago. We were approached by a design studio based in Beijing, and they've actively supported us. Thankfully, it was a good choice of partner. Thankfully, they've supported us through that process. And in roughly April this year, we were invited to enter a design competition with a Danish and Hong Kong practice based in China, in Europe, and for this particular project in Guangzhou in southern China.
It sounds on the face of it to be quite a daunting proposition. When you first started out, was it different to any other thing you'd pitched for?
Not really. Well, it was. Obviously, we had to address the cultural differences between our work here in the UK and China. China is a very different place and a very different culture to our work in the UK. So we had to address that. We had to address such things as feng shui, for instance, which was quite interesting. But yes, we did have to go through quite a steep learning curve. So
you've made sure that all the rooms are facing the right direction.
Indeed.
Good for you. You've heard just some of the audio we played a few moments ago that York and North Yorkshire got one of the worst records for exports in England. Are you surprised about that?
I am surprised. I'm very surprised. I mean, we made the decision roughly 4 or 5 years ago that we needed to export our professional services to the international markets. We started in the Middle East, and our journey has ended now in China, of all places. It was surprising to us, but the connections we made in the Middle East actually took us to China. Remarkably, but that's how it happened.
Is it all about making that first step then? Is the first step quite a bold one? I suppose we all like safety, don't we? It's safe to pitch for something around the corner, or maybe in the next town, the next city, or certainly in the country that you know. Yeah. So is it taking that first step that actually is the giant leap?
It is, and I think the key to anything like this, in terms of UK businesses exporting their goods and services, is to do your research. We've done an enormous amount of research both in China and the Middle East prior to us winning this particular project.
So it's obviously good for you and your business. And as I said, we're talking about China all this week on the BBC. You're doing business now in that country. How important do you think it is as a global economic force for us, not only in this region but in this country?
I think it's vital. I mean, we've suffered all through my career through the boom and bust cycle of the UK and European economy, and I think it's vital now for businesses to export.
So you've done it
to insure against that.
You've got it in the Middle East. You've got China wrapped up. Anybody listening this morning, what would your top tip be to businesses? Say, go out there and get it.
Do your research and hold your nerve. Those are the two things that we've had to do. It's taken us an awful long time to get here, but hopefully this will be the gateway for future projects in the region.
Okay, well, thanks for coming in again. Congratulations. Mel Fairbourn-Varley, Director of DWA Architects in York. And in around about an hour's time, we'll be speaking to a York woman who's been on several trade missions to China and the Far East, and she's even accompanied the Prime Minister, David Cameron, on one trip. So more coming up about China and